our grievance is the poor people, after the granite slabs are cut, there are some pieces. Those pieces are cut pieces are collected by the poor industry people. Just they polish it with gas. Sir, अरे ठहरो यार, गड़बड़ बात करो, गरीबों के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ. So these pieces, what they do, just take them, put some polish on that, and spray something, and sell them like small tiles. Earlier, the duty on them, the tax used to be 7%. So we are telling they are about 1 lakh people who are there in Khammam district itself. So we wanted an exemption for that only. I'm not talking about the 28%. That I agree. Rich people will have this one.
We have to see the all India weighted average. Now let me deal with 2 items for which I have read the maximum number of articles written on. It was mentioned by some members, and all of us, including me. In fact, when I went to Chennai the other day, a group of NGOs came and met me and explained to me I am having that matter investigated also. Disability aids. Now, the GST Council decided disability aids will all be at 5%. And everybody said make it 0. A senior Congress leader also wrote a letter saying make it 0. Some television channel which said it's a disability tax. But in GST, 0 is costlier than 5%. Now let me explain this and make this good. When you make any disability aid, whether it's a clutch or it's a wheelchair, what is the components of a wheelchair? There'll be iron, there will be aluminium, there'll be rubber, there'll be a leather for the back. All the inputs are taxed at 18% or 28%. Sub inputs 18% hai ya 28% hai. In the chain, when the final product is made, it is taxed at 5%. So 5 ka matlab ye hai कि you will get, since it's an issue in Tamil Nadu, sir, I will speak in English for your convenience. Since the inputs are very high and the final rate is only 5, the manufacturer will get the input credit. So let us say his input credit is 14% or so. 5 will be subsumed in 14. He gets a refund of 9, which helps him to bring down the price of wheelchair or a clutch. If it is 0, he doesn't get input credit. So a disability aid at 0 will be costlier, at 5 will be the cheapest. But without application of mind, somebody did a program on a television channel. Because in kindergarten they learned their basic arithmetic that 5 is more than 0. And therefore this whole campaign started. The people who met me in Tamil Nadu said, but actually some traders have increased it.
See, what they may feel that 5% are also exempted. That may they would have asked, not that 0 thing.
No, if you exempt 5, then you don't get input credit.
No, that is what, even getting that input credit, they want this 5% also reduced.
So,
that may be
the whole campaign started. Now let us take, there is a third objective. Sir, there is a third objective, let us decide. Do we want in India the make in India products to increase, or do we want to just allow cheap foreign products to come in? One of the objects of GST is that you must aid and assist domestic products. For that purpose, on all foreign products which are imported into India, you pay the basic custom duty, and in addition to the basic custom duty, an amount equal to GST is charged as integrated GST. So if basic custom duty is, let us say, 10%, and the IGST is 12%, then a Chinese product coming into India will have to be 22%. So it will be 22% disadvantage. And that disadvantage will help the growth of Make in India product. If you say that this 12% should be reduced to 0, then the Chinese product will get a 12% advantage. Now let us see. Some MPs also met me, I examined it. In the earlier regime with VAT and excise and all different taxes and cascading effect, the case in point typically is sanitary napkins. Now on first side everybody says reduce the tax. The earlier rate till 30th June was 13.8%. That was the net taxation impact. Nobody made a representation because tax was embedded in the cost. It was 13.8. On an equivalence basis, the council decided 12%. They said, oh, 12%, please remove it. Because for menstrual health, it is necessary and we must popularize it. What will happen to village self-help groups? Well, they are all below 20 lakhs, so they are all exempted. So no village self-help group will have to pay. Those up to 75 lakhs will have to pay only 2%.
Why did they sell in the same state?
Now you come to a large Indian manufacturer. A large Indian manufacturer is taxed at 12% minus input credit. All his inputs, synthetic, absorbents, glue, whatever material is there, are taxed at 18% and 12%. So when the Indian manufacturer gets input credit, the rate actually becomes much less. So he gets a large input credit because the inputs are costlier than the final rate. The same principle. And therefore, those made in India by village self-help groups pay nothing. Medium people will pay 2%. Large Indian producers will pay 12% minus input credit, and input is much higher, therefore most of it will be absorbed. Some minor tax will be left. But if you make it 0, the impact will be that every Indian manufacturer will close down, the Chinese product becomes 12% costlier, cheaper. And your Make in India brand doesn't survive. Because the IGST on the Chinese product itself will become nil. Therefore, sir, rather than immediately, as I said, it's a new regime. The council has a lot of experts. There were a lot of finance ministers. Many of them are economists. And therefore, we have the benefit of their services. And all the states decide, the state commissioners are also technical people who have learned this trade. So they are not casually fixing up these rates. So they will see the principle of equivalence. They will see the principle of revenue neutrality. They will see the principle, what is the maximum burden on a domestic consumer. They will see how Make in India brand is to be strengthened and the field not left open for foreign products to just come in by making such an inverse charge. And therefore, whenever we read in the newspaper or watch on the television, we must verify it twice before believing it to be the gospel truth. And sir, since we had a debate yesterday, I clarified. Now, Jaidev said, you raised the issue of hybrid cars. No, I will examine the chilies. You now raised hybrid cars. Without getting into the name of the companies, for small cars the duty was reduced. Did the company manufacturing the hybrid cars reduce the price, or did it increase the price? The actual price, after you gave a massive reduction in the duty for the small car, they increased the price. And they have no explanation to give. And then they start a propaganda for the luxury hybrid, also give us a duty concession. Now for the small consumer, we gave a duty concession. Instead of reducing the price, they increased the price. And now for the luxury vehicle, the campaign is, to the luxury purchaser, please reduce the duty. Now a man who can pay 45 lakhs can also pay 50 lakhs. Because the man who had to buy it for 7 lakhs, instead of reducing the price, you increase the price. And therefore, that segment of the private sector also, before it can pressurize the GST Council, will have to see that there is some responsibility that this new regime has on them also. After all, just because electrical vehicles are better from environmental point of view, can't be converted into a regime which is so unfavorable to the consumer that the state gives up its revenues and the manufacturer increases the price. So unless they, and the number of manufacturers are not too many, and therefore the council is watching that situation. As I have said, they are watching, and their experts keep meeting regularly. Every state is getting grievances. I can only tell this House that every member of the council, every finance minister of the state, is neither being pressurized by a demonstration nor by only some domestic concerns. When they sit collectively, they look at the data, they look at what is in the interest of the consumer and the country, what was the earlier rate, what is the revenue neutral rate, and how can the Make in India brand be strengthened, and then correspondingly take a decision. And I'm sure we'll continue to meet regularly and continue that exercise. With these few words, sir, I commend this bill for approval.
Other Ranjan. No, he has to speak. Other Ranjan. He has to.
Sir, जेटली जी, हम लोग की तरफ से कोई 370 के बारे में कोई नेगेटिव चर्चा नहीं किए हैं। हमारा ये आपसे ये नसीहत दिया था मैंने कि घाटी में, हाँ नसीहत दिया था, घाटी में 370 लेकर और फिस्कल ऑटोनॉमी लेकर शंका पैदा हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि आपने खुद हिंदुस्तान की जो जीएसटी जब चालू किया था उस समय आपने जम्मू एंड कश्मीर घाटी को आपको साथ लेने में विफल हुई थी। तो यह गलती आपकी है, क्योंकि वहां सरकार आपकी है, पीडीपी बीजेपी आपकी सरकार है, और इसलिए आपको ये ऑर्डिनेंस लाना पड़ा। लेकिन हुआ जो शंका है, वो शंका को जताने के लिए मैं आपको ध्यान आकर्षण किया था, क्योंकि वहां लोगों के अंदर ये शंका है, और वहां जो ट्रेडर्स है, वहां जो बिजनेसमैन है, ये सब इनके विरोध में रास्ते पे आए थे, और आपकी सरकार हुआ उनको धुलाई किया, पिटाई किया। ये नहीं होना चाहिए था, क्यों आप एक बड़ा काम कर रहे हैं, ये अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, और किसी दूसरे के ऊपर लाठी भी चलाते हैं, ये दोनों एक साथ नहीं होना चाहिए। इसलिए मैं आपको ध्यान आकर्षण किया था। जैसे कि मैं और आपको ये बोलना चाहते हैं कि घाटी में ड्राई फ्रूट्स, GST on dry fruits should be at 5% and not at the proposed 12%, as higher tax will lead to price rise and encourage illegal trade across the LOC. आपकी वहाँ की मुख्यमंत्री जी वो खुद कह रहे हैं कि मुजफ्फरबाद और कश्मीर में कोई रोक टोक नहीं होना चाहिए, कोई पाबंदी नहीं होना चाहिए। और दूसरी बात ये है कि आपकी मुख्यमंत्री वो आके खुद आपको ये कहते हैं कि आप वहां की GST रेट घटाइए। वही मैं कह रहा हूं कि एक हॉर्टिकल्चर, टूरिज्म और हैंडीक्राफ्ट, कश्मीर घाटी के ये 3 जो विषय है, ये इसका ऊपर GST लागू करने में आपको घाटी के बारे में थोड़ा सोचना चाहिए। इसलिए 370 के बारे में कोई नकारात्मक बात हम लोग नहीं किया, वो तो आप लोगों की रवैया है कि घाटी से 370 को एबोलिश करना चाहिए। लेकिन सत्ता पे आने के बाद आप सब कुछ खो गए, लेकिन सत्ता पे आने के बाद आप सब खो गए, आप भूल गए, वो यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड भी भूल गए, 370 एबोलिशन भी भूल गए। वो ये आपका चुनावी जुमला था, वो आपका सियासत करने के लिए 370 की नारा लगाते थे, लेकिन आप जब चुनाव नहीं है वो जुमला आप छोड़ दिए। तो इसलिए मैं आपको बताना चाहते हैं कि ऑर्डिनेंस की ये रास्ता अपनाना नहीं चाहिए। यहाँ हमारा लोकतंत्र है, हर बात में ऑर्डिनेंस नहीं आना चाहिए। आज हिंदुस्तान की लोकसभा में, आज पार्लियामेंट में डे ऑफ ऑर्डिनेंस हो चुका है, क्योंकि लेजिस्लेटिव बिजनेस सब ऑर्डिनेंस पे हो रहे हैं आज चर्चा।
Are you withdrawing? Are you withdrawing?
Yes.
Are you withdrawing?
Yes.
Withdrawing. The question is that leave be granted to withdraw the statutory resolution. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The leave is granted. The member may withdraw the statutory resolution. Withdrawing.
Sir,
No,
actually, I do not have any objection in principle.
The question is that
to the
bill
core
be
issue
taken
of
to
the ordinance.
consideration. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion for consideration of the bill is adopted. The House will now take class by class consideration of the bill. The question is that clauses 2 and 3 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clauses 2 and 3 stand part of the bill. The question is that class 1 enacting formula long title 2 stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Class 1 enacting formula and long title stand part of the bill. The minister may now move that the bill be passed.
Sir, I rise to move that the bill be passed.
The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted and the bill is passed. Item number 22. Other Ranjan, are you withdrawing that 22, that
Sir,
resolution, that statutory resolution?
sir, that this House disapproves the banking regulation
No.
ordinance.
The first item number 22. 22.
Achha. Yes, sir.
You're withdrawing. No. The question
Yes, sir.
is that
Sir,
we be
so
granted
GST
to
and
withdraw
IGST.
statutory resolution. Those in favor may say
Sir,
aye.
actually it was
Those
club.
against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The leave is granted. The member may withdraw the statutory resolution.
Sir, I would like to move the resolution, sir.
Already withdrawn. No, that is already over. The question is that the bill be taken to consideration. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion for consideration of the bill is passed. Adopted. The House will now take up class by class consideration of the bill. The question is that clauses 2 and 3 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clauses 2 and 3 stand part of the bill. The question is that enacting formula. That is, question is that class 1 enacting formula and long title 2 stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Class 1 enacting formula and long title stand part of the bill. The minister may now move that the bill be passed.
Sir, I move that the bill be passed.
The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted and the bill is passed. Now we are taking item number 18 and 19, the Banking Regulations Amendment Bill. Sri Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary to move the statutory resolution.
Sir, that this House disapproves of the Banking Regulation Amendment Ordinance 2017 promulgated by the President on 4th May 2017.
The Honorable Minister to move that the bill be taken into consideration.
Sir, I rise to move that the bill further to amend the Banking Regulation Act 1949 be taken into consideration.
Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary.
Sir,
Speaker.
आवर वित्त मंत्री जी हर बात में तो ऑर्डिनेंस लाना शुरू कर दिया, तो इसलिए मिस्टर ऑर्डिनेंस को एड्रेस करते हुए मैं 2-4 बात जरूर कहूंगा कि मिस्टर ऑर्डिनेंस आप खुद ये जो बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन के ऊपर ऑर्डिनेंस लाए हैं, इसमें आप खुद सीरियस नहीं हैं। वजह यह है कि आप 4 मई को ये ऑर्डिनेंस प्रोमलगेट होते हैं, लेकिन खुद देखिए आपका प्रेस रिलीज आरबीआई की, वो कह रहे हैं कि एन इंटरनल एडवाइजरी कमिटी वाज accordingly constituted and it held its first meeting on June 12, 2017 और हमारा ये सदन शुरू हुआ 17 जुलाई को। इस बीच में आप क्या किया? आपने 12 accounts totaling about 25% of the current gross NPAs of the banking system would qualify for immediate reference under IBC किया, और resolution plan within 6 months. In cases where a viable resolution plan is not agreed upon, bank should be required to file an insolvency proceedings under IBC. ये दो काम आपने किया। मैं वित्त मंत्री जी से पूछना चाहते हैं कि आपके जेब में, आपके हाथ में जो लेजिस्लेटिव पावर थे, जो लेजिस्लेटिव औजार थे, वो क्या काफी नहीं था ये रिकवरी के लिए? वो क्या काफी नहीं था एनपीए से डील करने के लिए? ये आपको सोचना चाहिए, क्योंकि आप जैसा हम सबको ये चिंता है कि हिंदुस्तान में एनपीए जिस तरीके से इजाफा हो रहे हैं, इसमें अगले दिन हमारे जो फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन है, जो बैंक है, वो बैंक उसका दिक्कत सामना करना पड़ेगा। ये बैंक जिसको क्रेडिट ग्रोथ अभी घट रहे हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट करने के लिए लोगों को पैसा नहीं मिलते हैं, तो इसलिए ये एनपीए के ऊपर हमें ध्यान देना चाहिए कि एनपीए ज्यादा ना बढ़े। सर, अंडर द बेसलाइन सिनेरियो in a macro stress test, the industry's gross bad loan ratio may increase to 10.2% by March 2018, after climbing to 9.6% in March 2017, the highest since 2002. According to the Reserve Bank of India's Financial Stability Report released, stressed asset including shower debt and restructured loans eased slightly to 12% in March 2017 from 12.3% in September 2016. The soured loans have contributed to 191 billion pile of a zombie debt that's cast the future of some lenders in doubt and curbed investment by business. आपका इंटेंशन क्या है बिल लाने के लिए? ऑर्डिनेंस जो अब बिल हो रहे हैं, ये जो एक्ट आप ला रहे हैं, ये एक्ट लाने का आपका जो इंटेंशन हो, ये है द सेंट्रल बैंक में ऑथराइज द आरबीआई to issue direction to banks for initiating proceedings in case of a default in loan repayment. These proceedings will be under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Second, the RBI may issue directing to banks for resolution of stressed assets. Stressed assets include NPA and loans that have been restructured. Further, the RBI may specify authorities or committees to advise banks on resolution of these assets. Members on such committees will be appointed or approved by the RBI. मंत्री जी को ध्यान आकर्षण करते हुए मैं कह रहा हूं कि ओवर द लास्ट डिकेड एनपीएस प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ टोटल लोन extended by banks have increased from 2.3% in 2008 to 7.5% in 2016. To recover the outstanding amount, banks may restructure loans such as change the repayment schedule or choose to initiate action under RBI schemes. These schemes allow for various options including, number one, conversion of debt into equity, take over a company's management, and collective decision making by banks on a recovery plan. There may be cases where the defaulter is unable to repay the loan despite restructuring. Banks may also take legal action, approaching debt recovery tribunals, taking possession of the collateral surfaces, taking action under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. In case bank cannot recover a part of the loan, the unrecovered amount will have to be written off as a loss. So मैं वित्त मंत्री से पूछना चाहते हैं कि इतने सारे कानून रहते हुए भी आपको किस लिए ये जरूरत पड़ा कि ये ऑर्डिनेंस साथ से साथ ये बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन लाने के लिए? क्योंकि हमारे हिंदुस्तान ऑलरेडी इट इज ए ओवर लेजिस्लेटेड कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड, और फिर आपको क्यों ऐसा महसूस हुआ कि ये ऑर्डिनेंस लाना जरूरी है? आपको शायद ये पता होना चाहिए कि 2016 साल में हम लोग इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड पास किए हैं। ये इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड में स्पेशलाइज्ड इंसॉल्वेंसी प्रोफेशनल अपॉइंटेड टू मैनेज द डिफॉल्टर एसेट एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूट ए कमिटी ऑफ creditors committee decides to formulate a resolution plan to restructure the defaulter's loan, liquidate his assets to recover outstanding amount. If no decision is taken within 180 days, extendable by 90 days, the defaulter's asset will be liquidated. Proceeds from the sale will be distributed in an order of priority, with secured creditors and workmen getting preference over others. अब मैं 2-3 सवाल पूछूंगा वित्त मंत्री से, ज्यादा नहीं। यह है कि द ऑर्डिनेंस एम्पावर्स द सेंटर टू ऑथराइज द आरबीआई टू डायरेक्ट बैंक्स टू इनिशिएट रिकवरी प्रोसीडिंग्स अगेंस्ट लोन डिफॉल्टर्स। According to RBI, loans extended by public sector banks account for 88% of the NPA in the country. This implies that a majority of the NPA are in the banks where the government is the majority shareholder. Therefore, the government had the power to direct public sector banks to initiate recovery of NPAs under various RBI schemes and laws, such as the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. In this context, I will argue that the government had the authority to initiate recovery of 88% of NPA without having to authorize the RBI under the ordinance. My पहला सवाल। My दूसरा सवाल, I would argue that a banking regulator who is responsible for ensuring stability of the banking system and thereby preventing risks to the financial system, therefore its role should be restricted to formulating broad guidelines to be followed by all banks, and it should not issue directions related to specific loans. Banks should have the independence to take business decisions such as criteria for extending loans, risk profiles of borrowers, lending rates, and recovery in case of loan default. Banks are best placed to assess the likelihood of recovery. For example, a bank may judge that a higher amount may be recovered if it waited for an improvement in the business cycle. Furthermore, a specific direction by RBI exposes it being a challenge in court. This has happened in one of these cases, especially the SR case. Therefore, मैं ये मानता हूं कि आरबीआई का जो रेगुलेटर होने के नाते जो जिम्मेवारी संभालना चाहिए, और रेगुलेटर की जो पद उससे साथ कॉम्प्रोमाइज किया जा रहे हैं। सर, the RBI promised to develop a framework to facilitate an objective and consistent decision-making process for resolution referent. It constituted an internal advisory committee which recently recommended accounts with an outstanding amount greater than rupees 5,000 crores, with 60% or more classified as non-performing on March 31, 2016 for reference under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. It is not clear why a cut-off date of 2016 was chosen. Substantial provisioning would have already been done for such accounts. These cases are expected to get priority at the National Company Law Tribunal. The mechanism for according such priority treatment is not clear. I would also draw the attention of the Honorable Minister that resolution of NPA is a two-stage process. Whether we have to assess the viability of the debtor's business The second stage involves deciding whether the debtors company should be restructured or liquidated. Any such resolution, be it restructuring or liquidation, imposes losses on the banks that had lent money to the corporate debtor. The larger the losses, the higher the amount of capital needed by the banks to meet the Reserve Bank of India's guidelines on provisioning requirement. While the government has promulgated the ordinance, it has not made any commitment to additional capital to support the resolution efforts. Capital allocated for the banking sector in the 2017-18 union budget or part of the mid-term capital infusion plans falls short of what the banks collectively need. Sir, that is why एक तरफ आप कह रहे हैं कि बैंक सारे एनपीओ को खत्म करो, ये बैंक जब तय करते हैं लोन देना तो वो अपने हिसाब से करते हैं, रेगुलेटर को ये जिम्मेवारी सौंपने से बैंक उनका जो अपना हिसाब है, वो जो क्रेडिट देने के लिए उनका जो अपने असेसमेंट है, ये सारे असेसमेंट का ऊपर हाथ पड़ जाएगी और ये सारे सिस्टम में ये खराब हो जाएगी. Public and private sector banks have non-government shareholders and non-bank creditors. So do companies that may get referred to IBC following RBI's direction to the banks. Any action under the ordinance that adversely affect the interest of these parties may be litigated in a court. The ordinance was presumably brought about because banks on their own could not trigger IBC proceedings against the stressed companies for fear of investigation and prosecution or due to lack of capital or because of challenges in negotiating with politically connected promoters. The ordinance gives banks the regulatory cover to take resolution decision. Sir, मुझे पूछना है वित्त मंत्री जी से कि दिन पे दिन ये एनपीए क्यों बढ़ रहे हैं. नंबर वन, ये एनपीए आप कहेंगे कि कांग्रेस जमाने से शुरू हुए हैं, लेकिन आपकी जमाने में क्या हो रहे हैं? एनपीए बढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन ये प्रोविजनिंग के लिए आप पैसा क्यों नहीं दे रहे हैं? आप रिकैपिटलाइजेशन क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं? आपका बजट में सिर्फ 10,000 करोड़ दिए हैं, जब 8 से 9 लाख करोड़ जरूरत है ये रिकैपिटलाइजेशन करने के लिए. ये सारे जो एनपीएस हैं, ये एनपीएस को डिसमेंटल करने के लिए आप जितने राशि की जरूरत होते हैं ये आपकी सरकार देते हैं, आप नहीं देते. आपको इसलिए आपको रघुराजन जब गवर्नर थे उन्होंने भी काफी सलाह दिया था, उन्होंने भी काफी बात कही थी, लेकिन कुछ इफेक्टिव नहीं हुआ. तो इसलिए ये रेगुलेशन लाने में कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. ये एनपीए से हिंदुस्तान को मुक्त कराना आपका बस की बात नहीं है, क्योंकि ये एनपीए आपकी जमाने में सबसे हमारे हिंदुस्तान की आर्थिक व्यवस्था को खतरा बना रहे हैं. आप सिर्फ ऑर्डिनेंस जारी करके, सिर्फ ऑर्डिनेंस की हवाला देकर आप अपना जो जिम्मेवारी निभाने में आप नकार रहे हैं.
मैं सबसे पहले वित्त मंत्री महोदय को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि जो काम बहुत पहले हो जाना चाहिए था, वर्षों पहले हो जाना चाहिए था, अब जाकर के हो